Yep, we're still a ways from Christmas, but I'm about to review another holiday themed flick. You may recall a few years ago I reviewed this classic film from 1947, and last year I reviewed the made for TV telefilm from 1973. And now, can you believe it's been 30 years since this second theatrical take on this classic tale ever graced the big screen? Here it is. This is my review of the 1994 remake of Miracle on 34th Street. Ho, 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 ho. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Ho, ho, ho. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1994 Christmas fantasy dramedy flick Miracle on 34th Street, released by Fox and directed by Les Mayfield, produced and co-written by John Hughes. This is, of course, the first theatrical remake of the classic 1947 film after other versions have graced television screens. The film stars Richard Attenborough along with Elizabeth Perkins, Dylan McDermott, J.T. Walsh, James Remar, Mara Wilson, and Robert Prosky. The film was released on this day, November 18th, 1994, after it made a premiere 3 days earlier at Radio City Music Hall. So today is the film's 30th anniversary as it made its big premiere. Now, it is mostly the, close to the same as we could get from the original, but, well, if you've seen the film, you may know there are just a few slight changes. But let's worry about that as we get into the story. Prior to the Thanksgiving parade, Kohl's department store's special events director Dory Walker fires Tony Falacci, an employee working as the store Santa Claus, when the latter becomes intoxicated. Immediately trying to find a replacement, she spots an elderly man who had been berating Falacci and begs him to take over. The man introduces himself as Kris Kringle. Chris does so well during the parade that he is immediately hired by Coles despite his apparent belief that he is the real Santa. Chris is lauded by the children and parents who come to visit him, and his unusual proclivity to direct shoppers to other stores where toys can be bought more cheaply is turned into a successful marketing campaign for Kohl's. The sudden turnaround of Kohl's, which had only recently survived a hostile takeover bid by Victor Landberg, enrages executives at rival firm Shoppers Express, who are led by Jack Duff. Doreen has persuaded her 6-year-old daughter Susan that Santa Claus does not exist and is concerned by Chris's influence on her. Dory's neighbor, attorney Brian Bedford, does his best to convince Susan to believe. While being babysat one night by Chris, Susan shares with him her Christmas wish. She would like a dad, a house pictured in the Kohl's Christmas catalog, and a baby brother. Chris asks if she would begin to believe in Santa if she got all those things, and Susan agrees that she would. Landberg and Duff realize that Chris believes himself to be Santa Claus and leads a plot to destroy his credibility. Duff and his fellow executives pay Falacci to antagonize Chris in the street and find an injury when Chris raises his walking stick, leading to his arrest. Chris says. Brian provides Chris with legal support and arranges for a court hearing where Chris can make his case. Dory convinces the chairman of Kohl's to show solidarity with Chris, drumming up support from the public. At the court hearing, prosecutor Ed Collins makes the case that Chris is mentally unfit for society, allowing him to state to the court that he is the real Santa Claus. Now then, I am going to go to the final act and the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below as I start counting down now. If you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. That evening, Judge Henry Harper privately confides to Brian that despite Chris's genuine goodwill, he feels constrained to declare him insane unless a miracle happens. The next morning, just before he can announce his ruling, Susan approaches the judge with a Christmas card containing a dollar bill. On the back, the words "In God We Trust" are circled. The judge realizes that if the U.S. Department of Treasury can put its official faith in God on U.S. currency with no required standard of evidence, then the people of New York can place their faith in Santa Claus in the same way. Judge Harper dismisses the case, declaring that Santa is real, existing in the person of Kris Kringle. Following the court case, Dory and Brian are maneuvered by Kris into realizing their true feelings for each other and are married in a small ceremony after the Christmas Eve midnight mass. On Christmas morning, Susan wakes to the news of the marriage and is elated to find that she has received one part of her Christmas wish. Together, Susan, Dory, and Brian drive out to the catalog house and find that Kris, who has now departed overseas, has arranged for them to purchase it, which they can now afford due to the size of Dory's Christmas bonus. With two of Susan's wishes fulfilled, Dory asks her what the third one was, and she triumphantly announces that it was a baby brother. Well, Dory and Brian both look at each other and shocked before glancing down at Dory's stomach and sharing a kiss in the end. End of story. So, what did I think of the 1994 take on Miracle on 34th Street? Well, I do think it's really nice and what have you. Well, it just barely doesn't quite come close to the great feel of the original film though. But nevertheless, I still found it to be pretty good enough. This film did was a modest hit, making 17 million here in the US and 46 and more overseas as it made 46 million worldwide. Rotten Tomatoes barely has it hanging on by a thread on Fresh at 60%. And TV Guide called the film curiously depressing, while the Washington Post said, in contrast to the 1947 version, it will not be found on television or its computer equivalent half a century from now. Now, it did have some big supporters like Siskel and Ebert, who gave the film 2 thumbs up on their show. Michael Medved of the show Sneak Preview said, "This is the new holiday classic America has been waiting for." An audience polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of an A. So it isn't too bad in Miami, but I still think the original is still a good one. But this one does come close, though, in ways. It does have a good soundtrack as well, which of course was composed by Bruce Broughton, and I thought that was pretty good too. It also has some great tunes done by artists including Natalie Cole, Dionne Warwick, and Kenny G. Yeah. So anyway, I gotta give the soundtrack some pretty big credit as well. The director for the film is Les Mayfield, who recently did the film Encino Man 2 years earlier. He later went on to direct Flubber and Blue Streak as well. Anyway, I still found this film to be pretty good. Now, John Hughes produced the film. Of course, he's certainly no stranger to giving us holiday films after recently doing the first 2 installments of Home Alone. He co-wrote the screenplay with George Seaton, which of course was based on the original 1947 film story by Seaton and Valentine Davies. Now, a couple of familiar names who worked on Home Alone, aside from John Hughes, also worked on this. Julio Macat, who did the cinematography for this, while Raja Gosnell, who would later go on to direct Home Alone 3, as well as Big Mama's House, Scooby Doo, and The Smurfs, was the editor for the film. So that's pretty cool too. Now, also, the New York City based Macy's department store declined any involvement with the remake, saying that they feel the original stands on its own and could not be improved on, so the fictitious Coles became its replacement. Since Gimbel's had ceased operations in 1987, hence it was replaced by the fictional Shoppers Express. And that's completely understandable and what have you. For our cast, though, I thought we had such an amazing cast. And that I'm saying is affirmative. Hmm. Let's see here. Um, Now, for our cast, we have playing Chris Kringle is the late great Sir Richard Attenborough, after recently playing John Hammond in Jurassic Park the previous year. Of course, he did lots of other movies, which of course you probably already know. Well, I'm gonna say he's no Edmund Window. Of course, you know that's a portrayal of Chris in the original, but he still manages to pull some good, some good, holiday cheer and what have you in the role. So I thought he was pretty good. Playing Dory Walker is Elizabeth Perkins, who's been in numerous films. Of course, I remember her from Big, and of course that a few months before this, that same year, she was in the Flintstones with John Goodman. Yes, Dylan McDermott before he was one of the stars on the show The Practice, played Brian Bedford. Now I'm going to say he was very good. Playing the character of Ed Collins is J.T. Walsh. Real good. James Remar, played by, is the character of Jack Duff. And I thought that was pretty good. Was pretty good too. Playing Susan is Mara Wilson, who the previous year was in Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams. Of course, a couple of years later, she would play Matilda and also appear in A Simple Wish and Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Robert Prosky, also from Mrs. Doubtfire, played Judge Henry Harper. Now, I'm going to say Prosky does a good job on this character. Now, as for Mara Wilson, on the other hand, I really think she was very good in her role as Susan. Very good. We have Jane Leeds as Alberta Leonard and Simon Jones as Donald Shellhammer. Yeah, those characters are pretty good. But there's lots of others you'll get to see. You'll even get to see an appearance by Allison Janney. Yes, you heard me correctly. Long before she even did some numerous things, most notably the recent CBS sitcom known as Mom. Um, if you watch closely, you'll also get to see Josh Ackland, who played Hans in the first and the third Mighty Ducks films. But unfortunately, he was uncredited though. So and there's so many others and what have you. So you gotta admit the cast is pretty good too. So overall, while it may not come quite close to as good as the original, but I still feel this comes really kind of does come a little close, but maybe not too much. But nevertheless, I found the remake of Miracle on 34th Street to be very good and what have you. I would probably put this, even though I consider would put this behind the original and the 1973 made for TV film. As my third favorite of this. I'd rather watch this over the TV short films though. Even though I have yet to see the other one, I've seen the first one from 1955, but I have yet to see the one from '59 though. But anyway, yeah. So would I recommend the remake of Miracle on 34th Street? I'd say sure, go ahead. I think you'll really like it. I mean, well, if you weren't too thrilled with this after if you saw the original film, well, then that's fine. We're all entitled to our own opinions. But this is one remake I think is definitely worth looking into. I think you'll really get a few good laughs from it. Yeah, because this one has a few more fun bits and what have you than what I've seen the other films. but the other versions of this. So definitely check out. It is on physical media. It's also available to stream on Disney Plus, so that's a good place to check it out. So what did you think of the 1994 remake of Miracle on 34th Street? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. Make it grow and make the views grow. Tell all your friends about my channel. Get them to know me. Maybe be a part of my Big D Nation. Share my vids with your friends if you like. And so on. And join me next time when I bring to you another anniversary review, and it'll be Sleepy Hollow. So if you like this, consider checking out my reviews of these other two versions of Miracle on 34th Street. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the original from 1947. The upper right-hand corner is my review of the made-for-TV telefilm from well, you get what I'm saying. The 1973 telefilm with Sebastian Cabot as Chris in the upper right-hand corner, which is almost about to hit 300 views. Or if you'd like a little more Mar Wilson, you can check out my review of Matilda from 1996 in the bottom left-hand corner. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya.